What's everyone up to? Kid just scared the hell out of me. He sat up and just looked around. Ah, that's why I'm cold. What's up, Volker? How are you? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing this morning? What's up, Volker? I like rap, hip hop, all sorts of things. Favorite tat I have, probably these eyes, like hypnotizing eyes. Or this one right here. I really like my little death moth as well. Hopefully I can get a couple mods in here this time. That's kind of why I just got off, because, like, my stomach was hurting and just felt icky and just, yeah. Yeah, I'll get it. I just need new mods, I think. I think I just need to get rid of a lot of the ones I do have. Because they don't be doing anything. Even sort of anything. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps you, girl. What's up, Jerry? How are you? Thank you. Jerry, you able to chill a while? You're probably gonna be my only mod. I know Juicy's gonna be in a little bit, but... Oh, I feel that. My stomach's been hurting and shit. Like, icky crampiness. Like, not like... Yeah, it just hurts. Don't trip, I don't mind. Thank God, bro. It's rough. What's up? Facts. Facts, you were here, Jerry. I just couldn't deal, and I felt like super quiet at the time too, because I was in a lot of pain, so I just wasn't in like... I still am, but like, it's not quite as bad as it was, thankfully. I hate it. I'm so confused about why that girl came in here and asked me if I have a labret piercing. It very clearly does not come out the side of my lip. Like, it is internal. It's just the bar. Yeah. What the fuck? I be seeing the wildest headlines, bro. I'm so confused. This doesn't even look like a labret piercing. The labret, like, comes out the, tip of your lip. What the fuck? Oh, I know. I was here the whole time. I was just like in and out of like pain. So like it was hard for me to really talk because unless I was gonna be complaining about it. So I wasn't trying to be like the mood killer. I just got off. Because I know all y'all are just trying to hear a bitch wince and, like, be like, ow. Vertical Medusa piercing. What the fuck? That's not even what I have. Okay, I can see how people would think it was maybe a vertical Medusa. Because the more I'm looking at those, the ball does come between the lips. But mine's only there when I smile because of swelling. Like, well, it's not even swelling. The swelling just went down. Like, where else can it go? Like, it's a curved bar. Like, where else can it go but around my lip when I smile? Because of my teeth, right? So, like, I don't know. It's not vertical. Like, I didn't go straight down. Like, I went in my lip. It's just the way that it is. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not vertical, though. It's just in there. Like, when it's a straight bar, it's straight through. I don't even blame you, dude. You know what's crazy? I do kind of feel like it is down a little further than when I pierced it before. I do feel like it was up higher here. So, maybe. Maybe it is a vertical. I don't know. I just pierced it. That was so weird. I just looked over and could have sworn my son was right there. actually just freaked me the fuck out. Damn, y'all are already quiet. How do you guys expect me to work with this? I can't believe Critter's gonna be in Chicago November 4th. A heart teardrop. When do you ever see heart teardrops? A broken heart teardrop? Does that tell you it's maybe not a teardrop and maybe it's just a broken heart? Real talk. It's not a teardrop. It's just a face tattoo. If it was a teardrop, it'd be in the shape of a teardrop. What the fuck? You're a weird one, for real. Somebody forgot their shapes in school. Well, yeah, it's the shape, it's the position, that's the spot that people get tattoos. Do you think a cross is a teardrop too? Like, no, it's not. Just the placement isn't a teardrop though. It would have to be a teardrop. The location doesn't work for that. And no, nobody killed anybody. But I do know what you mean. Sometimes people do get a broken heart tattoo. I did Google it before I even got it. If they've like killed their lovers or one of their partners died or something, then sometimes people do get it for that. But that's not why I got it. Mine was more of my family. I had 16 family members die in over like 10 years. So yeah, it's more of an homage to them. And Lil Peep had it, and I really fuck with Peep too. So. Sup, Jerry? Oh, I wonder if I'm gonna get that auto AI shit on my channel, because I just read that it's happening for people who watch a lot more things like that are kid-based. And my son uses my channel, like, to watch his videos, so. Ew, I hate when I see you to relearn. You need to relearn how to live your life. Me too. I say that in, like, the weirdest of ways, but me too. You're good, but please don't call me baby. Okay, I gotta shut this vent. My dad purposely opened this bitch up right before they went upstairs, just to, like, make me suffer, because it was closed the whole time. And I know, because they kept looking up there just to see if you fucked with it, because I'm the only one ever in this room. Like, typically. Like, my son comes in here, it's the kitchen. I don't know if that sounds good, that I'm the only one in here. I just wish he would redo what he undoes. That's my problem. Because I was sitting here feeling it this whole time. I even woke up to cold gusts of air. I was like, why? That is so weird. Why am I so cold? And it wasn't getting any warmer in here either. Okay. That's fixed. Now I can actually feel the heat. That was weird. Now I know why Juicy isn't coming. She's on Brian's panel. Why tell me you'll come if you're, like, busy? Like, I don't understand. Like, don't tell me you're gonna be here if you're definitely not coming. She's not coming. She'll wait till the live's over and be like, sorry, I got carried over. Like, guys, y'all suck. I need help. Like, I genuinely need help. It's getting harder over here for me, because, like, even my mods don't be showing up. And that's, like, the hardest. Because, like, at the end of the day, it used to be at least I knew I had my mods that would be here and, like, at least talk to me and, like, keep this, like, going. But, like, I don't know. I feel like I have, like, at tops, like, maybe 3 people that actually show up and do something. Yeah, 3. Anybody else just pops in for a minute and leaves. But that's Eric, Pavare, and then and then Jerry. Like, nobody else, like, actually sticks it out with me. So, and fuck, Pop's the only one that's here, like, throughout the all stream. This needs to be fixed. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, it's starting to bother me more than it would if I just didn't have any moderators. And, like, I feel weird about it. Like, because it's starting to feel like I'm, like, begging people to be here. And that's, like, hey, I tried. Michael, no. I mean my moderators. I know, YouTube has me shadow banned right now. I'm not judging anybody, like, any regular viewer who isn't here. Oh, just note to self, dish liquid soap will kill your plants. Don't spray. Don't, spray a bottle that has water and dish liquid soap in it. Because I see Pav, me, and Christina. Yeah, Christina's here too, but she pops in and out. She's not really, like... And, like, Eric's here when he can be, which is, like, maybe a stream out of the day. But, like, sometimes more than that. But it's just because of how much I've been going live lately, or he'd be here every stream like he was. Because, like, I would purposely go live when he was available more so. And, yeah, so that made it more easy for Eric to be there a lot more. And, like, now I'm just live a good bit. Like, I don't have much else to do. So it'd be, like, selfish of me to just expect him to be here just because I'm here. But when he is here, it's great. It's my favorite stream of the whole day. Because he's, like, the best. And he makes me laugh. And he's funny. And he just gets me more than, like, anybody else does. So it's funny, too. Because, like, I know you guys, like, you guys have to be familiar with me to an extent by now. Like, you've got to understand, like, certain mannerisms, certain just things like that, you know? So, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. What's up, Sergio? You okay, baby? Okay, baby. I love you. Yeah, Michael. This is my little guy. He, he woke up out of nowhere. He just sat up a minute ago, and then he laid back down. And he didn't say anything when he sat up. He just, like, shot up out of nowhere like a little zombie. and then I looked in there, and then he was just only talking to himself. I was like, you good, little man? He was like, yeah. And then stopped. And I was like, I get it, buddy. Just go back as he be. I love you. Yeah. Y'all should hit that Venmo and Cash App right down there. Jerry posted. Yeah, at least hit that like and sub. That's like what we really need over here. for the channel. Donations, they're just like a little extra, you know, if you can and want to. Everything else is free and highly appreciated, just as much as the donations. Oh yeah. Oh, my 10 inches. Shh. Nobody will ever know. Shh. It's between us.
Wonder whether certain comments and speculation online, how does that all affect an investigation?
Yeah, sure. So the speculation will start really ramping up, but it does. And those people closest to her are the people that are going to be so important. And also, we've learned that she's living at a shelter for young women that are pregnant and or that are homeless. And so there's people there, including probably counselors, that she may be having these conversations with that could have valuable information that they might not even think is that valuable.
Is this
but there's
dead
these
or
little
just
pieces
not
that could
working?
really help investigators tie it all together. And right now, it really is a race. It's about getting that information. You don't have to get super, super detailed, but you need that initial information so you can get searches in the right targeted areas. Because if she's alive, she needs to be found right away. The time frame we're at now.
There has been a lot of agencies involved in this search so far. Local, state police, search dogs, divers, drones, helicopters. How have these tools
anything interesting
changed
I should watch?
to, the searches for missing people? How have they evolved over time? How thorough are these searches?
They're excellent tools. So for the canines, what they could do is they could get a scent article of hers, which they probably get from the shelter she's staying at, and then they can, if they believe that she was at, say, the boyfriend's property, they can track that. They can pick up a scent. They can track it, and where it ends, they can, then try to pick up that scent at locations. So, they're great for that. They're not just for actually finding the person, but canines are great for figuring out if they got into vehicles or if they tracked off the property or where it may be. And then you got drones, you got thermal drones, because it's wooded areas. Of course, the key people here are going to be like the cell phone analysis teams, which FBI has got amazing people at. Those are going to be the people that are super important.
If they haven't found her, what does that mean?
Well, it's obviously it's not good, and
because you basically described how extensive these search efforts are.
They got divers in the water. That also kind of shows what their thinking is, because it seems to be targeted to a pretty certain area, and they do seem to be focused on the water. They have divers in there. They also have search and rescue members that are wading through waters, probing holes. So it seems to me like they think that likely could be an option. But listen, it's not good here. I don't think.
Is there a movie called Sunshine?
Hoping for a miracle, and I think the family understands this because they've expressed that as well. But kind of bracing for the worst. And listen, these people, the state police, local police, search and rescue, these are people that are amazing at what they do. And I really think in the next day or two, we're going to have some solid answers. I think that she will be found one way or another.
I don't know which one that is.
Do you think that this is going to rely on the public's help? Because they're saying anybody with any information, especially, by the way, any surveillance footage of that county street area, they're asked to contact law enforcement. Is that what we're dealing with now? We need the public's help. And how does law enforcement sort through all the tips that come in or all the information that comes in?
Yeah, so surveillance is going to be really key here. So there's going to be like license plate readers, town safety surveillance systems, but people's individual ring cams or whatever type of nest, whatever they have, people can go and review that. If they can put her in a certain location, then that becomes the new place last seen, which is the most important thing in search and rescue. That's where everything centers around. That's where the command center would move to. So it's going to be very important. There's always so much noise,
on drugs in that video.
Because a lot of, listen, people want to
help.
All right,
Jerry.
And
you're good, Michael.
Tips, which is not a bad thing. You don't have to discourage people from sending in legitimate tips, but
she looks like she's my age. You look exactly the same age.
Surveillance that they've had sent to them. Plus, they have teams out there looking for surveillance. It'd be trail cams, things that might not be traditionally, people think of. There can be, leads there.
So, you mentioned before, we've been talking about it throughout. She is reportedly around 3 months pregnant. When we talk about that, what impact does that have in terms of the investigation, the search? Because it's not just about Kylie, there's someone else there too.
Yeah, so Massachusetts is a state where if a homicide occurred, a person can be charged for the unborn child in Massachusetts as well. So that's something that, they're looking for two people, I think, as far as the law goes. And so if something happened to her, it also happened to the baby. But, it's just as important if she's alive too, because if she is and she's in some duress situation, then she needs medical assistance, not just for her but for that baby as well, 11 or 12 weeks old. So it's a big thing, and it's her age coupled with being very vulnerable, not having the tools to survive on her own.
See, they gotta show more of her.
Also being pregnant.
They have shown like one full like upper body picture of this girl.
Social media, so we checked out
She's a big girl. She's not like this little bitch. Like, she's a big girl, and all the other pictures are showing is just her face, and that is so misleading in an investigation, because if all you're going is by up close pictures of the face, they can be filtered, they can be like so many different things go on with that, versus if you see the person, like if you were looking at me, I stand up, you're looking at me, you get what my face looks like with my body, you get my stature, like you understand. Everybody's different, in the way they even stand and look. Like, I feel like that's super misleading for an investigation to not show the public
appearance. And in that video, she apparently posted a photo of herself with the caption, "I don't care what people think about me." Steve, how critical is that? How critical is social media going to be in the search?
What's up, O-Block? Are you from Chicago?
Especially, now, as we all know, the younger generation, everything seems to be based around social media. So when a person's presence drops off a cliff on social media, it's a real concern. It's almost an addiction level. And we see it in so many cases where you just know that the person wouldn't have that ability to withhold from the posting. So it's scary. And also, they express all their emotions online. And I can't say this 100% certain, but from what I've seen, it looks like the boyfriend has also deleted or privated his social media, so that's concerning as well. It's a big thing here, and that's something that investigators, I'm absolutely sure, on an exigent basis have requested, to see if there's any DMing going on behind the scenes, to see if there's actually anybody logging into that account, which would show proof that she could be alive, or message history that may have been deleted, which the companies can pull that still. So even though
the boyfriend looks like he's like 30 and she's like
so I think
16.
that they probably have already accessed those accounts.
And by the way, talking about social media, family members, they posted on social media that anyone interested in helping with the search, they need to make sure that they're part of an official law enforcement-led search party when they're announced. Why is that so important?
Well, so there's kind of two schools of thoughts on this. And in a case where there is a very good chance, and this is one of those, that there's foul play involved, I think this is a situation where the public, as much as they want to help, it's best to lay back, because everything's evidence at this point. That's why, when you're seeing the video
and they log people
out searching in the woods and stuff, you're mostly seeing sworn law
No, this girl,
officers.
she's
You're
like
not
a
seeing
pregnant teen. She's missing. She sent a message to someone I don't.
Everything's being treated. Anything they find will be evidence at this point. And if the public is out there and handling it, then it becomes, defense attorneys are going to go after that. It's going to be exclusionary, and it could create a whole host of problems. So now, in a case where foul play is not suspected after about a week, I think it's good for the public to get in and help with the search. More eyeballs, the better. It's a race against the clock of a person's life. But in this, the odds are so heavily in favor of foul play that I do think that the public should, unless you're an actual member of that search and rescue team or asked to come in to assist by law enforcement, I do think it's best to stay out of it.
Steve Fisher, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time. Checking the warrant details, an officer gives leading more information about why he's in handcuffs.
Alright, so here's what your warrant's for, okay? We got Fannin, they're gonna sing us everything, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, okay? They got you in production of child pornography, okay?
Damn, that skipped to a weird one. Damn, I didn't expect that to be said. Yeah, Jerry. People think the same thing about my dad. Damn, everybody's quiet. Jerry, nobody's gonna jump in, trust me. That's awesome though, Michael. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see the same thing. But I don't think so. Damn, Michael doing junior mod work.
Bada bing, bada boop.
There is a thing called a job side effect. For example, if you work in video editing, when you watch an action movie, you might not even be able to get into the action scenes.
How?
Where the entire
I got
town
dabs
is blowing
on
up
my
and
arm.
alien swoops in from a UFO to
What
kidnap
the
children.
fuck?
Because you are just so focused on how much every second of the special effects is costing the studio. You cannot see anything
Not me
past it.
spraying
That
my
is what is
arm.
commonly referred to as a job side effect. On Reddit, a few funeral directors have gathered to talk about their job side effect, which I will warn, it's very grim, it's morbid. I can see how funeral directors would not be able to function if they felt and reacted to death the same way a normal civilian
Unless they
does.
just wanna
So
skip and
there
keep
would be no
avoiding
funeral
there.
homes if that were the case. It's
Sounds
natural
like
to
probably
compartmentalize your
gonna be
job.
what it is.
And sometimes they've developed these very strange side effects because of them. One funeral director says on the forum, "Sometimes I find myself accidentally figuring out mixtures for living people, or thinking about how well they would embalm." Side note, a mixture refers to the customized blend of embalming fluids, and each time it's unique to the body, based on the weight, time of death, tissue condition, because sometimes you want to add a little more of this or a little more of that to try and restore some firmness or color to somebody. Or other times, you're trying to figure out the best mixture for keeping the tissues from dehydrating. You want the deceased to look as, quote, healthy as possible. That's what they say, so their loved ones can pay their respects. Side note, that includes putting Vaseline on eyelids, as that helps with making sure they don't look dry. And oftentimes, the embalming mixture is this very orangey color.
Like how they
apparently
remove
that gives the healthier glow. That's how they're describing it. Someone else agrees, commenting, "Sometimes I decide how I would set people's features when I'm talking to them, and then I don't realize it."
But
Embalmers have to set the features and arrange facial muscles into restful or natural expressions, and that's a big part of the job.
they'll like
And
super
very big
glue
side
your
effect,
eyelids
a lot
shut.
of the funeral
Like
directors are saying.
they
Honestly,
usually have to
it's
do
not
that.
even the embalming process, which is, one of
Because
the
like
more
you usually
technical
typically
things.
die with your eyes
A
open.
big side
Then they
effect
have to
is
like
that
open it
you
up
learn
and take
very
your eyeballs
specific
out.
ways to deal
Typically.
with human grief. And it's done in
And
a
then
way
they'll
where
put
you
in
have to
these little
compartmentalize. Like I know some people are going to be like, "Oh my
round
God, these funeral
things,
directors are so
like
insensitive."
under your
But you
eyelids
would
to
not
make it
be
look
able
like
to
your
do
eyes are
this
still in
job
there,
and
but
help
they're
these
not.
families if you felt
And then glue
every
that shit
little
shut.
pain that everybody felt.
Yeah, on a daily, hourly basis.
I mean, a lot of busy funeral homes,
Like
they have at
cement
least
that
one funeral a day.
shit shut.
There's no way that you can sit there and really soak in all these feelings. That would be just too much emotional trauma. Like, you would never make it.
Yeah, you have to
One funeral
dissociate.
director online states, I mean, at the end of the day, though, it is a business. It's not a social service. It's a lot to coordinate, and you have to learn a lot of these small talk lingos. We like to call it a small dark wedding, because you pay for the production. People shouldn't be surprised because it's supposed to be a memorable event, and memorable events are expensive. And so you learn these little ways of talking to clients. For example, you learn very early on not to say things like good morning, good night, happy holidays when you pick up the phone, or when you hang up the phone, or when you say hi or bye to any customer.
That brings it back to a whole different thing. Why the fuck do we say good morning? Real talk. Why? I ask this because morning is death, right? Even in good morning, It's never, we've never, I don't know. Anyways, it shouldn't be called mourning. But anyways, that's besides the point. Mourning means death. So you're essentially saying, like, good death. Like, that's weird to me. But anyways, I know it's spelled differently. Mourning is with a U, but that's not really the point I'm trying to make. The point is that's where we got the word from. Yeah, can you imagine picking up the phone to someone whose, like, family member just died? They're calling your funeral home to set up arrangements, and you're like, good morning. Crazy. Happy holidays. Hope you have a great Christmas. Good thought, but true thought. Right. It's like, why the fuck do we even say good morning? That's such, like, a weird thing to say. Because, like, yeah, it's just weird. It's, like, such an evil thing. All I know is it's to not say goodbye. Well, yeah, well, that would be more like a good night thing, right? I don't know, that's crazy. But that's just a random thought I had. Like, why the fuck do we, like, one day, like, random shower thoughts with Ashley. Like,
additionally, phrases
for
in their
real.
experience that don't do well, they say they cringe every time they hear people coming to other loved ones' funerals and saying this to the grieving families. It typically consists of, they're in a better place now. They say, don't say that one.
Yeah,
Or
they're
at
in the
least
ground.
they're no longer in pain. Or I
Worse
understand.
things.
And interestingly enough, one of the funeral directors writes on Reddit, the words, I'm sorry? Yeah, unless you're apologizing for something you've done, don't say those words. Especially if you're a funeral director, too.
So, did they say what are you supposed to say?
Just, hello.
Oh.
We're here for you if you need anything. And it's a little strange, and they've seen so many eulogies, they've seen so many people passing by, they kind of have an understanding of how things work. And it's very, very rare that a eulogy is to go viral, especially when it's not dedicated to a politician or a celebrity that's passed. I don't think I can name off the top of my head a eulogy that's gone viral in recent years or any years, except for this one. This eulogy is given for the joint funeral for a couple by the name of Kristen and James Brock. Both of them were killed in their sleep, and the killer is still on the loose when this joint funeral takes place. People are psychoanalyzing everything about this eulogy. Even body language experts are going on mainstream media, news platforms to talk about the things that they're getting from the delivery of this eulogy. I mean, they say, quote, we're not seeing these short gasps of breath, you know? They're never touching their face. They're not wiping away the tears because there aren't any.
We're not seeing upheavals of emotion. We're not seeing those gasps of breath.
And throughout the entire eulogy, their tone stays strong, just burning right through this, talking fairly quickly. Seems like they're trying to get to the part where...
By the way, this title is Teen Girl Begs TikTok to find her mom's killer, then gets arrested, killing both parents.
Other netizens are more focused on what's being said. They get up there, and this person making a heartfelt eulogy at the funeral states, this isn't going to be easy, but bear with me because I stutter a lot. I just wanted to say goodbye since we never got the chance to. I was so used to you guys always being here that I never once thought to imagine y'all not being here. Your heart will finally be healed in heaven and neither of y'all will be in pain anymore. Although that gives me so much comfort, your fight is not supposed to end here. Thank you for all the life lessons you taught me. You were such a beautiful soul with so much gratitude. We can't always choose the music life plays for us, but you can choose how we dance to it. Kristen Brock was always dancing, and they will save a seat for me in heaven, like they saved a seat for me in this very church.
When someone tries to tell you anything, no matter how important it could be, just listen, because you never know when it's somebody's time to go. You could say goodnight and wake up a few hours just to find out they aren't there, despite their joy and their love. So just listen.
This is the Teen
Never
Girl.
take a hug or anyone or anything for granted, and love with all that you have in you. And lastly, my take of not taking people for granted, I want to thank my family, also known as my cat family, my grandparents, my siblings, for helping me through my worst nightmare.
And last but not least, I want to thank Sasha, Bree, Nate, Layton, Kimberly Hayes, Kim Bowling, Katie, and most of all, my father, Angie, and Ben for making such a big difference. I love you guys. I'm sorry.
A loved one who was present at the funeral is sitting front row, states, that was weird. because not a single tear was shed. So the entire time that this person is up there, the eulogy is said in a shaky voice as if they're crying, but she's sitting there saying, I didn't see a single tear. And she says, quote, what is the voice that they're doing? That sounds like crying, but I don't see a tear. No tissues, never wiping the face, never getting rid of tear marks. Eyes are not red, no snot. They're not crying. The family member in the first row states, it was one of the weirdest things that I had ever witnessed. But not even just that. Apparently, this person gets off the podium and goes one by one, greeting the loved ones of the deceased and giving them each hugs and saying, I'm sorry.
All right, Michael.
And that brings us to the question. Why is 17-year-old Sarah Patrick apologizing to everyone when her mother and her stepfather were killed that night, while she and her little sister were asleep in the same house? And why will she be arrested months later after this funeral for killing the two of them and posting TikToks about it?
What's up, Exodus? How are you? Exodus, you're staying a while. Not 15 minutes, not 2 minutes. I'm keeping you hostage in my chat. Like it or don't. How are you?
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the SAFE Project, a national nonprofit dedicated to building collaboration to address the addiction fatality epidemic and prevent overdoses.
How are you?
This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. There are brief mentions of illegal substance abuse, so please watch with your own discretion. Today's case is currently ongoing, so if there's any new developments, we will do our best to keep you updated.
2 mods
at
a time. Holy
this
shit.
is the information that we
never happens.
know up to the date of publishing. All opinions, speculations, allegations are all representative of medicine sentiment and not my own. I'm just here to present the
I'm just
publicly
sitting
available
ass in
details
chair.
and a lot of the online discourse that's happening surrounding this case so that you guys can come to your own conclusion. With that being said, someone has been arrested, they have been charged, they have not been tried, and they are maintaining their innocence. So everybody is innocent until proven guilty. That is how it works in the justice system. So with that being said, let's get started. There is an interview room in a police station that is just not like the others. Each police station, from what we have seen so far by all of the interrogation footage, it varies. Some police stations have standard interrogation rooms with table, chairs, a board of some sort. Other police stations, they like psychological warfare. I don't know who came up with these rooms. They'll have clocks that are broken on the wall, or a tiny little space where the subject is going to start feeling cornered after a long time because they're blocked from the exit by two buff cops just sitting on the chair next to each other playing good cop, bad cop. This room, not like the others. In fact, it's actually kind of cozy. It's really off-putting. You've got the entire police station, you've got the desks of the officers, you've got the interrogation rooms, you've got the little jail cells, and then you have what looks to be a random living room in the middle of the police station, but it's not a break room for the cops. It's an interrogation room. Well, an interview room. There's
like an open, like, seating area?
No, it's closed.
Oh.
But it's like a living room. You open the door, it looks like a quaint little living room with armchairs, usually a rug, lots of artwork, pastel colors. The lighting is less harsh. It's not like that bright fluorescent light that you see in police stations. It's almost like that warm, no overhead lamp type of light. And it's because that is where you bring in children. You bring them in and you have very specific investigators who are adept at asking these kids the right questions without leading them to figure out what they saw and what they know. February 20th, 2025, police get a phone call.
You don't need to know that.
And it is from 17-year-old Sarah Patrick, who's stating that her 41-year-old mother, Kristen Brock, and her stepfather, 45-year-old James Brock, are dead. This 911 call has yet to be released, by the way, but she is effectively stating that her little 5-year-old half-sister, let's call her Bella, she is the child of Kristen and James Brock, and Sarah Patrick is only Kristen Brock's child. So that's her stepdad, and this is her half-sister. Her 5-year-old half-sister, Bella, comes into the room, and she's like, you need to call the police. Like, something happened to mommy, something happened to daddy. She calls the police, and it's too late. The couple had been shot 5 times in their bed in the house that all 4 of them had just been sleeping in. This is first thing in the morning. Not only did this 5-year-old little girl find them, but she heard the gunshots too. And it's interesting because the very first thing that the police find a bit fascinating when they're talking to this little 5-year-old girl, and later when they talk to 16-year-old Sarah Patrick, is how the hell did the little 5-year-old girl hear the gunshots?
And she didn't.
But 16-year-old Sarah slept through them all. She claims she didn't hear a single gunshot go off in this little house. There are certain questions I think that you just can't really ask people. I mean, maybe you can if you're an investigator. I just feel like it's a thing that you learn as a kid. When you're a kid, you ask the first thing that pops up in your mind, and then your parents scold you, and you're like, you're not allowed to ask people that. You can't ask someone why their feet are smelly. Like, that's rude. Come sit down.
Yeah.
There are lists of questions that
My son.
feel harmless. It technically feels like you just want to know.
He once
For
asked this
example,
guy
what
why he was
percentage
why
of
his
your
skin
thoughts do
was
you
so
think are
dark.
actually original
I was like,
versus
you can't
recycled
ask
from things
me.
you've heard or read. It's like technically harmless, but it just
He was
feels
like 2,
kind of inappropriate.
3,
That
maybe.
feels a
He
little
was
like you're
about
attacking
3.
me. Or if you had to assign a monetary value to an hour of your time based on what you actually accomplished, what would
Pink
it be?
Floyd.
Or do you think your face would look better or
Fire.
worse if it were perfectly symmetrical? And then you have the list of typical ones. When are you due? Are you pregnant? Have you gained weight? Do you still have a thing against smiling more frequently? Are you really going to eat all of that? Those are things that you're technically not supposed to ask, even if you genuinely have a curiosity that means no malice. Like, you're not coming
Her
from a bad
saying
place.
just the
And
word
there are
eat.
a lot of questions that people apparently wanted to
Why
ask
are you black?
Sarah Patrick
That's what I
on
mean.
TikTok. Sarah Patrick reaches out to a
That's
TikToker
what he
by the
said,
name of
but I wasn't going to
allegedly,
say that.
reportedly.
Well, he said, why
And
are
she
you
DM'd her,
so...
asking her to, quote,
He asked a
search up the
black man why
case.
he was so
It's kind of
dark.
a
Like, his
straightforward,
skin color,
contextless,
like, was so
maybe even
dark. And
cryptic
it was like,
message.
you
Allegedly
can't...
reportedly responds
Oh
to her,
my
and Sarah
god.
keeps messaging
And
her,
keep
giving
in
her
mind,
more
this little
information
boy
about the
has
case.
grown up with
Kristen
a
and James
variety
Brock,
of
they're my
family
parents,
members.
and
Like,
out of nowhere, a
like
random Thursday
his
night in
cousins are
February,
black.
someone
Like,
came in my house with me and my 5-year-old sister, shot my parents, brutally
well, they're
beating them for
mixed,
me and
so
my
they're
little
not...
sister to wake up to.
So they're not,
Well,
like,
technically it was
super
Wednesday
dark.
night, 'cause
Yeah, I
came
was
Thursday
too.
morning on
And
February
that...
20th, 2025. Allegedly, reportedly
It's so
responds to her,
embarrassing.
telling her, I am so sorry. I cannot imagine. I will absolutely research and cover their case. Please, please take care of you always. She makes a video on it, and Sarah comments, thank you for spreading awareness. Sarah's very active in the comment section, which makes sense, but one
I'm gonna grab my
writes,
salad. Let's
"This is
eat
a random
salad and
medicine."
listen to true
From
crime
an
together.
investigative standpoint, it would seem that it was someone who knew them, hoping for answers and
X,
swift
don't
justice.
think you scared anyone
Sarah
away.
likes
No
the
one's
comment
been
in
here to
response.
start
Most
with.
definitely was, since they knew the house.
Today
She's
it's
saying,
bad,
yeah, I mean,
Dad.
whoever did this to my mom and my stepdad, they knew them because they knew the layout of the house. They knew where they were sleeping. So yeah, I agree with you, commenter. Like, they knew my parents. At this point, nothing is particularly making you question
So
anything
odd.
of any sort. There's no, ooh, I probably shouldn't be thinking this question, or even let alone asking it in the comment section. At face value, at this
Where did
point,
the other ranch
everything
go?
seems normal.
No,
Even on Sarah's dad's Facebook account. So it gets a little bit confusing, but this is Sarah's biological dad. He and Kristen Brock, one of the deceased, shared 2 children together, Sarah being one of them.
She said one
They've
of the
been long
disease.
divorced. That is why Kristen
Not
has now married
deceased.
James, Sarah's stepdad. So he's even posting like anything will help.
diseased.
Please keep sharing this case because we need to find the killer or killers. We don't. They're still
Okay,
out
I'm back.
there.
Sorry.
To which someone comments, I still can't
X.
believe no clues, no
Sorry, I
prints,
noticed
feet,
another one.
hair, anything. I mean, by this point,
X really
months
be
have
stealing
passed.
that
The funeral
shit.
has passed. Months have gone by. No arrests have been made. The police have been pretty tight-lipped about everything. Sarah is on TikTok reaching out to true crime content creators because she's like, no one is talking about the case, and the police are not going to get tips if no one even knows that this happened. I
So
live
she
in a
just
small
wanted to
town
gain
in Georgia,
notoriety
like
for
45
herself.
minutes west of Atlanta. I don't know what to do. No one's talking about
Gospel of
it.
your
Sarah takes her
salvation.
dad's Facebook account to comment back. It's Sarah, by the way.
I
I
don't
know
know if
it's
I-
hard to believe it, and there's gotta be
I'm going through
something. Hopefully the police are
damnation.
just
I
not
think
telling
I'm
us
good.
anything
I
for our
don't think I
own
need
sake.
salvation.
It seems like she's
I think
very
I'm
involved
alright.
online of being the push
My-
of getting this case out
My
there, which again
ranch, on the other
seems very
hand,
natural.
just fell off.
Kristen's father has come out to say, so this is the mom's dad, the deceased dad.
It sounds like
This
she's
is
saying the
Sarah's
disease.
maternal grandpa. He says, this is just so horrendous. You just can't imagine someone would come in and just take the life of two good people. And I want answers. What's going on? And clearly the cops, they want answers too. I mean, it's not the most common occurrence that a police officer will attend a funeral that's
Your
associated
little crown,
with the
you
case that
stole
they're
that
working
shit
on.
again.
It's not
I don't even know if anyone had it.
Usually it
I think
happens
chat
when
was
you're
so
dealing
dead, I
with
don't think anyone
organized
had
crime.
it to
A
begin
lot
with.
of
Just,
former mob
well,
bosses,
Jerry's in here.
organized crime families,
I don't
and
know if
they've
he's still
had
here,
a
but
lot
he
of
has been.
undercover law enforcement show up at funerals of people that are involved
Ew,
in
why
the
does my meat
enterprise,
look
if you will, to
inflated?
study the
Like, it looks
network,
inflated
the
over
food
here.
chain.
I don't know why.
Sometimes
It's
undercover
like normal over
investigators will
here,
show up
over
to
here
victims'
looks
funerals if the
inflated.
killer hasn't been caught yet.
Like they
But
cut
it's
it
not
weird or some
protocol.
shit.
It's not
I don't
necessarily
know.
required, but it does happen. And they're watching just for anything strange. They're also lurking on social media,
Yeah, that's
trying
what
to
I
see
thought.
if anything feels off. Clearly, Sarah's biological dad, the ex-husband, a usual first person of interest. Biological father of two of Kristen's kids, contentious divorce battle, custody battle. He writes on Facebook, it's not fair. It's
When
not.
did he write this?
This
Years
is like
ago?
a month after
Oh.
the murders. It's not fair that they're not here. It's not fair for the kids. It's not fair for the families. I'm sick of waiting for answers. I can't wait for them to catch the assholes that did this. Please excuse my language, but I'm angry.
Wet
He
meat.
posts a blurry sonogram photo
Wet
where he writes,
meat.
exactly
I think it's
17 years
wet.
ago, it was the happiest news. Me and Kristen received the happiest news of our lives, and it says February 21st, 2028, and that was a sonogram of baby Sarah Patrick. And he's saying almost exactly 17 years from the date that
A
this
little wet.
sonogram, the
It is a
doctor's
little
appointment
wet.
happened, she was murdered. And that was like the best day of my life and the worst day of my life. He's saying she was taken away the exact same day. I
True.
was just going through the baby pictures and noticed this. And
That's
other
true.
than
I
that,
wouldn't want it
doesn't
if it
appear that he
wasn't.
was acting suspiciously or strangely after the murders. The police kind of rule him out. However, they do notice that something odd occurs at the funeral. From a recording of a eulogy given by Sarah Patrick, the daughter of Kristen.
Now I just
and
feel all the
stepmother of
juices.
James.
Stop.
You
Now I
yourself
just feel all the
starts off-
wetness and it's making
Well,
me
I
feel
won't say
icky.
typical, but it's like what you expect.
Like,
Sarah
just
states,
lettuce and
for
just
those of you who don't know
things.
me,
Why
my
is
name
it so
Sarah, and I'm
wet?
Kristen Brock's daughter and James Brock's stepdaughter.
Although there's nothing
This is like wet. It's like hot
Therefore,
condensation and I don't like it.
Therefore, when someone tries to tell you anything,
It's like
no matter how
cold,
long
wet
it could be,
condensation.
just listen, because you never know when
I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna open the other ranch first. And why is all my cheese at the top?
There's
I
some
don't like
interesting
that.
parts to the eulogy, like when she states, as for my mother, everything we went through does not define what kind of person or what kind of mother you were. You were a beautiful, kind
That's
soul
fucked
with so much
up.
gratitude.
This is your mom's
And it
eulogy
just
and you're
makes the
shitting on her.
kind of tilt their head.
You're saying like even during that time when that's happening, the cops are already getting some kind of vibes or being alerted?
Yeah, because
Drip,
the
drip.
police,
Drip, drip got that
it
wet
seems
cheese.
like the police are
Ugh.
on the
No,
same page as a
that's
lot of
even
people on
worse.
the internet.
Wet
And
meat.
a lot of people on the internet didn't want
Wet
to ask the
cheese,
questions
ew.
because they didn't want to be perceived as being rude. But it's just a little weird of a eulogy. What does it mean, like, regardless?
God damn it, I
of
can't get it
everything you went
out.
through,
I'm
it
gonna have
doesn't
to open
define
this
what
shit
kind of
up.
person or what kind of mother you are. Also, in the eulogy, she's not breaking down in tears. She sounds like she's crying, like she's choked up, but she's not crying. She's not wiping away tears. She never has to collect herself or take a breath to catch her breath. It's just slightly weird. And then she has this whole, like, thank you list, like an Oscar speech at the very end where people
I'm
are like,
sorry.
what's happening? And then the very
Wet
last two
meat
words are, I'm
slaps.
sorry.
I love you guys. I'm sorry.
And so people thought, ooh, it's just a little weird. But again, people grieve differently, so it would be inappropriate to ask,
Literally.
hey, what are you sorry for? Hey, why did you list off all these thank yous to these
Ew,
random
my
people?
hands.
Hey, why are you wearing a light blue baby doll dress at a funeral? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the deceased didn't want all black at their funeral. I know that's been a thing recently where people don't want grim colors for the celebration of their lives, but people thought it was weird. But it's, again, one of those questions that you just don't ask. You don't ask someone how much money they make over the dinner table, and you don't ask someone why they said I'm sorry at the end of a eulogy. And you also don't ask them, how could you not hear the 5 gunshots if you were in the house? There's a TikTok video with a link to a GoFundMe where you hear everybody singing happy birthday, and it sounds slightly sad.
Yeah, why
and
would you say you're
pretty
sorry
eerie.
at the end of
The
a
words on the
eulogy? That
screen
is
read,
kind of
"Don't ever
strange.
take your family for granted. That voice you once thought was annoying is what you may end up falling asleep to every night. And the only way you can hear it again is our video. It's not good enough. I just want my mama." And it's Sarah Grace posting collage photos of memories with her mom and her stepdad. Another TikTok video shows her with mascara running down her cheeks. Like, it's pretty dramatic, almost like you would imagine like those animes when people cry and then you see the mascara running down, almost like liquid coming
It
down,
is.
and you see the tear streaks.
It
The
looks
caption
fake as
reads,
fuck.
"Please send prayers for healing and for a break from everything. I'm so tired. I should probably delete this later." And because a lot of people who found Sarah
So
Grace
X, how's
through,
life
allegedly,
been?
reportedly, or through some of these TikTok accounts that are reporting
Oh my
on her parents'
God.
case, they want to ask, but they
Sorry,
also don't want to
I'm
ask.
getting this tomato
And a lot
out.
of people wrote this in hindsight. They're like, hey, when this was all going down on TikTok and
I
she was
forgot to take them
actively
out
posting
first.
TikToks, I really wanted to ask, why are you filming yourself crying? But I didn't,
big
because
ass
I felt like that was
tomatoes.
rude to ask like the grieving daughter of someone who was
Jesus,
murdered,
look at
but it
that.
just
That's
felt
huge.
weird. Another one is her crying in a dark room with very puffy eyes, and the words on the screen are, "What do you mean I can't call my mom?" And then another one that says, "I sleep so I can see you." Or another caption that reads, "But at nighttime, when there's nothing to do and the house is empty, I always think about how much I needed them." And it's just
Damn, did
collage
everybody
photos of her
leave?
typically crying, or there's one of her just like hugging her mom's old t-shirt, and it always has a trending audio with these like slideshow words of the collage involved, where she uses the trend. They don't know it yet, but a year from now, me and my 5-year-old sister would find them wrongfully shot dead in our home, and they won't get to watch me graduate high school, see me walk down the aisle, or even say goodbye. The caption reads, "I miss you guys. Save a seat in heaven for me." Or others are just pictures of her mom and stepdad with words that say, "Just want to go home. I feel so homesick and I miss them so much. I can't stand the fact that I can't see them anymore. This sucks more than anything possible. I feel like I'm in a horror movie that never ends, and on top of
Get
everything,
out of here, bro.
I still have no answers. I'm so confused on how someone could have done this.
If you can't
and
tell
even
I'm a
more
woman,
confused on
there's
why
a
them?
problem.
Why? Just
Genuinely.
why? How could they?
So everything is words, just words on the screen. She's never talking. No.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few, it does get weird because at some point she does transition into posting videos that are not about the crime. I mean, this is like months. She doesn't get arrested until July. This happens in February. So for months, she's posting variations of this, and then I think there were like 1 or 2 where she's lip-syncing to words, and she seems like every other 17-year-old on TikTok. But majority of her posts were these little collages, or there were videos with the trending audios and then some words on the screen.
Was she getting a lot of attention from these posts? Like, are they going all viral?
They actually went viral after her arrest, and then they got taken down. And then an account reposted them, but you won't see like a lot of the original comments.
Her account's gone, or
Yeah.
those posts? Okay.
Yeah. And she will post them, writing things like, "I'll never forget her last speaking with me. She came into my room," she's referring to her mom, "when I was in bed watching a show, and she told me goodnight in this deep voice and was acting silly. I should have hugged her, and when James talked to me last, he told me I love you and goodnight through the door. It tears me apart that I didn't open that door and give him a hug. I need my mom more than ever now, and I know that I can't get closure because nothing will bring them back. If you know something, please speak up and help me and my family heal. It hits me when I see my 5-year-old sister crying for her mommy and daddy. I'm sick of waiting for answers. I can't wait for them to catch the assholes who did this." One of the TikToks that she posts, this is the one where a lot of people wanted to ask a question, but they said that they didn't want to ask the question because they didn't want to be perceived as insensitive or rude, or they didn't want to make it seem like, but it was a genuine question that I think a lot of people had. The first picture of the slideshow is her posing in a mirror selfie. She's wearing sweatpants, a cropped corset looking shirt. She's got maybe like half of her midriff out. It's not like particularly salacious. I'm not trying to be like, oh my gosh, she was so scandalous. I think she dresses like anybody else on TikTok, but it's of her posing in front of the mirror. She's got all of her makeup on, and she looks like she's about to go out. The words on the picture read, "You're just thinking it's a small thing that happened." So this is another trend. It's like you write this and then you show all the things that happened, and it's not a small thing that happened. It actually has like catastrophic consequences in your life. It's like a canon event. Which is a trend, but people thought it was kind of weird that she's referring to her mom being murdered in the house that she was also asleep in as like, you just think it's a small thing that happened. I mean, maybe she's just misusing the trend, which is maybe odd at best, but it's weird that you just think it's a small thing that happened. I mean, maybe she's just misusing the trend, which is maybe odd at best, But it's weird that the very first picture of her is with her makeup on and looking relatively put together, and then the rest are just slideshows of her bawling. Some people are saying, well, that's the point of the trend. You're supposed to show yourself normal, and then as the trauma progresses, and that's the trend. Others are saying it's still kind of weird that she's doing these trends, but then others were arguing, well, maybe she's doing those trends because she wants attention on her mom's case to get it solved. So there was a lot of back and forth, but a lot of people just thought it was maybe one too many crying videos, but they didn't feel like they were in the place to judge, which I agree. Another strange thing that people had questions about is there was someone commenting asking Sarah, what was the weapon? Water gun emoji or knife emoji or question mark, meaning like what was the murder weapon? And Sarah just comments back, water gun emoji. Some people thought that was very weird. It's also been reported that whenever someone commented that they were sorry for her loss, she would just respond, don't be. Now, this is pretty contentious. People are like, yeah, well, that's exactly what I would say too. Like, you don't have to be sorry. You don't have to, like, ruin your day, but I'm just trying to tell you this information. Others are saying, it just feels weird. Like, what do you mean, don't be? It's just something nice that people are saying. Instead of saying thank you or like, yes, please, people look out on the case, you say, don't be. I mean, it gets to the point where eventually one body language expert states that Sarah seems too much in her element when she's creating these crying TikToks. He says, if you and I have tears, we wipe them away. That's what normal people do.
She doesn't. She wants you to see what she's going through. That's why she's got the mascara
She's
on
also-
and letting that leak down as well.
Maybe it's harsh, maybe it's accurate, I don't know. They also point out that her picture that she takes and posts on her way to her parents' funeral. So she's like taking a selfie in the car on the way to the funeral, and she's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm going to the funeral right now. Her eyes aren't red. This is what the body language expert states. Her muscles are tense in the way. Her muscles are tense, but they're not tense in the way that someone who's actually grieving looks. So a lot of, when you're grieving, there's a lot of tension in the mouth area, in the lips. They get downturned, there's pressure. It's almost like you're holding it in your jaw, and then it's like loose, but kind of tense at the outer corners of your eyes. She, according to him, does not appear to be in true grief. That's what he believes just looking at that selfie. I mean, take that as you will. I always take body language experts with like all the salt grains in the ocean.
But these are all hindsight, right? This body
Yeah.
language, okay.
So no one is saying it at the time, because
Right.
those would be questions that you really just cannot ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think body language experts are interesting. I think it's fascinating, and I do think that there is a lot of truth to it in the sense of, I'm sure a lot of humans do hold tension in specific areas when they have certain emotions, because that's how we learn to express ourselves. And we all kind of adapt to each other's facial expressions. But people's mannerisms are so unique and personal, and people could have different abilities with moving their facial structures. It's just, there's too much room for error.
Yeah.
But I digress. Some of the bigger questions in this case, though, even one of James's family members states this. What strikes me as weird is she didn't seem afraid in any of her TikToks. Killer is still out there. You were in the house when your mom
That is
and your
true.
stepdad were shot and killed. Killers are still out there. Not once did she post, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. And killed. Killers are still out there. Not once did she post, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. There's a killer on the loose, and the town needs to be afraid. We don't know what they're gonna do. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what they're capable of. What are the police doing? There is not much fear. It's more so, I can't wait for them to catch these assholes. Please help me catch them. She also states this is James's niece, so the stepdad's niece. She has no blood relation to Sarah Patrick. And she says,
She lost her mom. She deserves to be sad, but the weird TikToks just kept getting more weird. So, I mean, what are you supposed to? It's very, I don't know what to say about it. I mean,
Sarah comments on another TikTok, and she says, I'm Sarah. So she's referring to one of the true crime creators talking about her. And she's like, when they said that I'm awake, I actually went to bed around 12 p.m. I think she means 12 a.m. That night as the latest, and I first heard the alarm no more than like 10, 20 minutes before I went to bed. So she heard this like alarm go off in the primary bedroom. This is James Brock's LVAD machine. He's got a heart machine that he's always plugged into because he has really bad heart problems. He had open heart surgery multiple times. He was waiting for a heart transplant. And that alarm will go off for all sorts of things. It does seem like that alarm is slightly sensitive from what I can see online, because you have to be, because, I mean, he could literally die from his heart not working properly and pumping blood. It's a machine that helps his heart pump blood.
Wow.
So if that stops,
Yeah.
he will pass. So there's alarms that are embedded on this machine, and she said that she heard the alarm go off maybe like 10, 20 minutes before she fell asleep, and she kind of mentions it's like a common occurrence. It goes off, they have to fix whatever's wrong with it. Sometimes it could be like it's administrative, sometimes it's not a big deal. If it is a big deal, then the alarm gets louder, you go to the hospital. She thought it was just like it's administrative, sometimes it's not a big deal. If it is a big deal, then the alarm gets louder, you go to the hospital. She thought it was just like a normal day. She goes to bed, she says, I was already really tired, and I wasn't hardly even able to hear it due to my TV and my sister's TV and my heater. Plus my door was barely cracked open when I went to bed. So she's saying she went to sleep super early, heard the alarm go off, and then just knocked out, didn't hear anything else until she was woken up by her 5-year-old sister, who was like, oh my gosh, you have to call the police. So people, they don't ask, but they kind of want to ask, how did you not hear the 5 gunshots?
What time was the shot?
We don't know.
Okay. What time was she woken up?
This was like 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting is that these
Oh, shit.
LVAD machines, I was looking into
Shit.
it.
I
and
keep
the
fucking it up.
initial alarm
Give me a second.
that goes off
There
is
we go.
at around 85 decibels, which, to put that into perspective, it's like a very loud garbage disposal in operation if you've got like watermelon rinds in there. Eat a watermelon, put it in the garbage disposal, turn it on, it's like that whirring sound. Or it sounds like a lawnmower from several feet away, like those handheld lawnmowers. Or it's louder than a normal conversation. maybe screaming, but it's not like a blaring siren. It's not like the fire alarm in an apartment complex is going off on a Saturday morning. It's not that loud. If you're in the same room, it would be impossible to sleep through it. It will wake up deep sleepers. That's the whole point. It's loud and at a frequency that it will cause ringing in the ears if you're listening to it for prolonged periods in the same room. It's uncomfortable because that's the whole point. If you hear it go off from maybe a room away, it's probably comparable to a typical TV volume when you're inside the room. So let's say you're sitting in the room and you're watching TV. It's going to sound that same volume when the alarm goes off in the next room. She says that she hears the LVAD machine before she falls asleep, but she doesn't hear a gunshot. Or the second, or the third, fourth, fifth. A gunshot, especially fired indoors, is going to be around 160 decibels, depending on the gun, give or take, in the house. But that would be like standing next to a jet engine at takeoff. Or if multiple jackhammers were operating simultaneously in your kitchen, in your house at the same time. A single jackhammer is around 110 decibels. This is 160. This is much louder. And it's even louder indoors because it's a confined space with lots of walls, floors, ceilings that reflect sound waves back through the rooms. According to gun experts, they say it's virtually impossible. And when you look up the house that they live in, it's a 2,000 square foot house. It's not a Jeff Bezos mansion with like 25 different levels and a guest house for the chief of staff. This is a very normal house. It's 2,000 square feet. And she says she doesn't hear any of them. One gunshot is 100 times louder than a smoke alarm, 1,000 times louder than a vacuum cleaner. The vibrations are so strong that it can rattle the windows. If there are neighbors within a few hundred feet of the property, which there weren't, but if there were, most likely they would have heard it as well. In fact, depending on how close you are, you could experience pretty severe discomfort in your ears for at least a few hours, if not the entire day afterwards. The only reason you would not hear this, experts theorize, is three things: severe pre-existing hard of hearing, unconsciousness, or extreme intoxication or heavy sedation. That's it. That would be the only way. There are a few other points of contention that happen in hindsight, like the fact that Sarah writes in her DM to the true crime creator. I think it would be a really big hit because the only person who posted about it made it as the first image you see when you Google their names. Plus, I can give you intel, I can't give you anything that could break the case. That's what the cops told me. A lot of people feel like, there's a lot of debates on the wording of this. I would say that majority of netizens think it's crazy. It seems like she wants to get TikTok famous. She's trying to tell everyone it's going to be a big case, it's going to be a big hit, it's going to go viral, we're going to be on trending. And it just seems weird to be the daughter of someone who was found brutally murdered in the same house. However, on the flip side, I feel like because I get a lot of emails of people that are requesting that we cover the case, and the Rotten Mango team goes through it. And I think that sometimes people are trying to throw out anything to get your attention. And whether they think you're chasing views or whether they think that you're doing this or that, it maybe is like, here's an incentive for you to talk about it. Like, just here's everything I can think of for you to talk about it. I can give you like special information that nobody else has. Like, you're probably going to get views. Like, it could be a desperate attempt to get people to talk about it because she wants the case solved. That's been a very big debate from what I can see, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Other points of contention are the fact that even at the funeral, she is wearing a light blue dress that some people felt was not appropriate. To be fair, it doesn't seem like everybody was adhering to this like black only rule, but one comment reads, "It looks like she purposely chose a dress that makes her appear younger and innocent." I will say the dress is it's like a baby doll dress, and those are trending again, so I don't know if it just happens to be on par with the trends. I don't know if it was more psychological than that, if she wants to appear younger. I'm not entirely sure. But it is, some people think, inappropriate, even in its color for this funeral. In July of 2025, the sheriff's office in Carroll County, Georgia, held a press conference.
Today, we can confirm that an arrest has been made in the case. Kristen Brock's 17-year-old daughter, Sarah Grace Patrick, has been taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault in connection with the deaths of her mother and her stepfather.
The Carrollton Police Department are being quite vague, which is normal for the police, but like, let me tell you, when I say this case is very vague, it's so vague. They keep referencing the idea that they have a mountain of evidence. We don't know anything about said mountain of evidence. Sarah did not confess. Sarah was not even arrested. Her family is a little particular about the wording of this, but a lot of news media reports are saying that she turned herself in, which almost has an insinuation of guilt attached to it. Like, she turned herself in, she's saying, hey, I did it, I want to confess, I'm coming to the police myself. Her dad is saying that's not at all what happened. We followed the rules. The police were like, hey, we're just going to create warrants for your arrest. So unless you come here tomorrow in the morning, we're going to bring the marshal's office to you. We're bringing the U.S. Marshals to you to arrest you, and it's going to be a big whole thing. So he's saying it's not that Sarah turned herself in. She was told, like, you got to come in, and she was just following the rules. I think that they're very particular about one insinuates guilt.
Got it. So that's the dad, right?
Yes, the biological dad.
Right. And so is he supporting Sarah, or?
He thinks that Sarah is completely innocent. He states that the investigators conducted a 4-hour interrogation of Sarah, which he states that he didn't even approve of. He said that the investigators kept asking him, like, hey, do what you need to do. If you need to go out, get a phone call. If you need to go out, get a drink. If you need to go out, take a smoke, go be my guest. So he goes out. He takes a smoke break, comes back in, and the officers are interrogating his minor child without him being present, which he says is crazy. But he lets the conversation continue for about 4 hours because they kept saying that Sarah was giving a witness impact statement. So they were pretending to be very friendly until that 4-hour mark hits, and he says that they just start slamming down photos, crime scene photos, of Kristen and James with gunshot wounds laying in their bed.
At the end of it, they started throwing pictures of her parents at us, her stepdad and her mom, deceased with gunshot wounds.
That were taken by crime scene techs when they came to the scene.
So that's still a child.
I stopped the interview, and
you're a good girl. No worries.
We were not going to talk no more, and
thanks for coming.
I asked them if they were arresting
We're
her,
listening to
they
some
said
true
no.
crime stuff.
2 hours later, I get a call saying I have to turn her in by 10 o'clock in the morning.
I don't. The girl's name's Kristen something.
He says he's upset.
Teen girl begs TikTok to find her mom's killer, then gets arrested for killing both parents.
A lot of people actually support Sarah.
Like her mom and her stepdad.
A lot of people that know Sarah support Sarah. However, the growing number of
name's
people
Sarah.
that either call into question her motive or
Sarah
call into
Bradley?
question
know,
her
something like
culpability in its entirety, it's growing online. Every day, the Facebook page is growing. It's a private Facebook page. I stand with Sarah Grace Patrick. Every day there's more threads on Reddit.
Her name's Sarah
Every day
Grace
there's
Patrick.
more comments on TikTok that seem to be like, well,
The
I don't know.
teenager.
Maybe she's not guilty.
Like her parents were shot like 5 times and shit. Like her mom and her stepdad.
One of the best pieces of financial advice when I was just starting out in the world, I think I was like 18 at the time, was time in the market beats timing the market. That means steady investing. Detectives to find the people who murdered her mom and stepdad. She trusted them because that is who she is. And all these people talking about her apology at the funeral service, saying I'm sorry at the end as an admission of guilt, as some sort of confession. That's very normal for Sarah. She would apologize over everything, even if it wasn't her fault. Sarah's dad says in an interview,
even if you have bad parents, I don't see how you can hurt your parents.
You know, she says I'm sorry to everything. Not just to the eulogy, you know? Really, I mean, you could step on her.
And that's as a child and a mom. Like,
that's just the type of girl she is.
Others also comment, when she was probably saying, I'm sorry to James Brock's family, some people are saying maybe she didn't mean it as like, I'm sorry that I killed him, but more so like, I'm sorry that you're going through a loss. Because we don't see any reports that she was saying it to people that were related to her mom. So maybe it would, I don't know if that changes things, if she was going to everyone that knew her mom and was like, hey, I'm sorry. Because that would be a little strange of, no, we should be saying that to you if anyone's saying it. But perhaps she was saying it to James Brock's family because she just felt sorry for their loss. I don't know. It's a little unclear with that one. I don't think saying I'm sorry is an admission of guilt. The investigator on the case later tells a reporter, it seemed odd.
Yeah.
It was more like a speech.
Like you can only get put through so much as a person.
Was that
so
I'm
like,
sorry because
that
I may
whole
have
thing
done
I
this?
totally get.
Or is it I'm sorry because I was upset during this eulogy? We may never know. But they said that it did raise alarms. A close family friend argues, though, I have known Sarah and her family since Sarah was in middle school. She and my daughter are best friends. She is very much just a child. I mean, no one online knows her background, her story, and what she's gone through. A lot of people think that
What's
Kristen
up,
and James
Jose?
Brock
Thanks.
were not great parents to Sarah Grace Patrick, and that Sarah Patrick probably had a very rough upbringing. If you go through Kristen Brock's Facebook page, you'll see that
Yeah, they still
Kristen's
didn't even
dad,
kill
so
their
this is
parents.
Sarah's maternal grandfather, is standing by her also, stating,
If they had something concrete, they would have arrested her a whole lot sooner.
Where are you from? I'm
and
from
that has been
Ohio.
a big
What's
point
up,
of contention.
psychics?
Again, the police keep saying they have a mountain of
Good to
evidence,
see
and
you.
this is not me advocating, stating that I believe someone is innocent or not innocent. I don't know what the police have.
Like,
Wait, so it took them 5
I guess
months
in like
to arrest her?
People
severe
think that is a
instance
lengthy
of
amount of time. I will
abuse
say
or
that
like
Carroll County, Georgia is a very
SA,
small
I can
county.
kind of
I don't know
understand.
how many people are on their
But,
police force.
like,
I don't know if they have the facilities to
that's
process
only
a lot
because
of
I haven't like
information and evidence
gone
quickly.
through
I do know that the GBI,
severe
the Georgia
levels
Bureau of
of
Investigations,
like,
was
you know,
also
like
working
you're
on this
locked
case.
in cages
And they
and
are
like, you know,
somewhat
shit like
a little
that.
bit faster,
But like,
I would think, than a small department like
yeah.
Carroll County.
And I've not been essayed
It
by
seems people
a
did think it was
parent,
weird that
so
it took so long. Now here's where it gets a
I
little
can't.
bit weirder.
I don't
The
know
murder
how that
weapon was
works,
nowhere in
but
the house. The gun was not found in the house. So that would mean that if Sarah were to be the killer, she would have shot her parents and then disposed of the gun. But what's even weirder
but
is
like they'll
that's
act
totally
like
feasible.
they'll like
That
kill
could
their
totally
parents
be
just because
something
they
that
hit them
happened,
one
right?
time. Like it's
But
like
nobody knows if the police even found the
the
gun.
fuck you
They've been
mean?
very strange about it, and I mean sometimes police
The
are
fuck
vague
you
for
mean?
reasons. And this is a very sensitive case where it's getting viral online, and she's a minor. But they're saying we can't really.
Not that I'm
comment on
okay
that.
with that either. That's
Who,
not
the
okay.
police can comment on that?
Yeah, they're like, people are asking, have you found the murder
But
weapon?
like you
And they're
don't
we
kill
can't really
them. You maybe
comment
call
on
the
it. So
cops,
does
but you
that-
don't
what does
kill
that
them.
mean?
You know.
Nobody knows what that means. Are they trying to lie because they think other people are involved? And maybe they're trying to find the owner of the gun? Maybe it has like defaced serial numbers? I don't know. Or does it mean they haven't found the gun and they don't want to admit to it? Because
Yeah,
they'll be
how
like,
did
hey,
this
what do you
17-year-old
mean
get a
you haven't found
gun
the
anyway?
Another thing that people point
Kids
out
are
is
so
if
crazy.
they suspected Sarah Grace Patrick of being guilty
That's
from
the
the
scary
jump,
thing about
from the
raising
get-go,
kids
which
today.
is what a lot of people think because she
like,
stated
fuck,
from the
please be
get-go that
normal.
she did not hear gunshots and police thought it was strange. Why didn't they test her hands for gunshot residue? Maybe they did. But it's just, I think they're not really helping themselves in this case, at least online. I'm not saying in the trial. I think in the court system, it's probably best if they don't reveal every information that they have. But at least on terms of online, people are weirded out. If they had tested her hands for gunshot residue the day of, if it came back positive, that would have been an arrest
I know
instantly.
exactly the case
They
you're
also took
talking
her phone
about.
early on in the case.
Oh, okay.
So she was using her dad's phone to post on Facebook and to post on TikTok. So if they took her phone, I mean, you would imagine that teenagers are not great at covering up their crimes.
So you're saying, like, again, there's so many opportunity to
Like look at the
arrest
shit
her
Ruby Frankie's
very
kids
early
even
on.
put her through.
Yes, but it could also
Or
be
those kids
argued.
through.
This is
Like,
a county
all of them,
that
not
does
even
not deal
just
with
the
a lot
young
of
kids.
homicides. You're talking about
Yeah,
a very
years
sensitive
apart.
case where a minor is going to be charged with double homicide. 2 counts of murder, and she's going to be tried as an adult.
Well, we could have had
I
friendship,
think
buddy,
if
but
they
you
believe that she was
decided
not
to
at flight
spam my
risk, perhaps
chat.
they wanted to dot
That's
their I's and
rude,
cross their T's
sorry.
and get everything absolutely perfect before they made an arrest. However, some netizens argue that as well, saying, what do you mean? They just let her roam about for 5 months?
Seriously.
Because if she's capable of killing her own mom and her stepdad, I mean, she's probably at flight risk, considering she was jumping around from family home to friends' houses. She was going to a friend's house in Alabama. It seemed like she didn't have a permanent residence. She had nothing tying her to that town. And you hear a lot about teenagers that run away.
Yeah.
Yay!
But you said GBI is involved in the case, or
Right.
was
Come
involved?
back in
It
like
seems
10
like
minutes.
they've
Just don't
processed
spam.
a lot of the evidence, but I don't think that they're involved in the sense of they are leading the
However long
investigation.
that
But they are being sent evidence and
is.
they are processing it and sending results back. What that evidence is, we don't know. And again, I
Maybe
feel
an hour,
like this
I don't know,
almost
30
sounds like
minutes.
I'm
There you
advocating
go.
to maybe question her innocence. That's not what I'm doing. But also, maybe that is something I should do more because everyone is innocent until proven guilty. It's just, this is the
I
conversation
gotta
that's been
hit the
online.
disc
And it's
today.
been growing every single day. I would say initially when she was first arrested, everybody it
'Cause
seemed
this is
was
all
on
I have
board with that. She's
my
guilty.
little
People didn't even
take.
want a trial. They're like,
Which is
forget
fine.
the
It'll
trial.
last me
Forget
till
innocent
then.
until proven guilty. No, she's guilty. Look at her TikToks. But now every day, Every hour, it seems like there's more.
Oh my
Wait,
eyes.
what's the mountain of evidence?
Made it
Or
worse.
new
There we
people
go.
that are coming into this case that
I
are
think
like,
I put
wait,
my
I'm so
lashes
confused.
under
So they haven't
my
even found the murder weapon.
eye.
Yeah.
What's the evidence that they have against her?
Oh,
So there's
damn.
two sides to
Yeah,
the
you
argument.
saw
Some
the
are saying,
message,
maybe
didn't
they've
you?
got no
Brian's here,
evidence.
though.
Others are saying maybe
But,
the
like,
evidence is so strong they don't even need to tell the
yeah.
public about it. But Sarah's side of the family is adamant
I
that she
keep
did not
thinking it's a
do
new
this.
comment.
And
Because
if
it's
she
not.
didn't, who did?
I don't
Sarah's dad
know.
says in an
Eric's are
interview,
different for
Sarah
some
knows
reason.
more than
His,
most
like,
people know.
light up
The only thing that she
differently.
could think of was there was
So
three
that
things
looks like
go
it's
wrong.
in the chat.
her mother and James Brock had fallen into some drug abuse.
You know, they ripped somebody off a couple months before that, and Sarah thought that it could be that person. When I say drugs, I'm not talking about, like, you know, the hardcore drugs. From what I understand, it was over weed or something like that, but a substantial amount. And she was telling the investigators that the whole time. And when we talked to the investigators, they said that they had already talked to them and said that they counted them out.
He continues, even just a week before their deaths, my son told me about an incident where a friend of theirs pulled a gun on them right before Valentine's Day.
And my son witnessed it. That's my son.
Juicy.
He's not just going to make stuff up like that. He brought that up to us, that the family friend that had pulled a gun on James in the kitchen, and they asked him to leave and make him go walk the dogs.
Damn.
The police have stated that there were no signs of forced entry, but the family do often sleep with their doors unlocked. However, Sarah's dad says he took a picture of the front door and he believes it looks like someone tried to break it open. There is no confirmation that this is accurate, meaning we don't know when these marks could have been made. We don't know if this was from a week ago. We don't know if it was from that day. However, some people think that Sarah's biological dad doing interviews is actually making her look guiltier. At one point, he talks about James's LVAD machine, stating that it was a constant thing that always went off. He heard it go off during dinner, sometimes when they would go out to eat together. He says that it wasn't too loud. So netizens are confused because Sarah stated that she heard
Damn,
the
my
LVAD
vape
machine
died.
go
I
off,
hate
and
when
now her
these
dad is
vapes
saying it
die
wasn't
because they
too
take
loud.
forever to
So she could
charge
hear that, but she
back.
couldn't hear gunshots. And Sarah's dad said, speaking of gunshots, they don't have a weapon. And again, we don't know if this
They
is
taste
the police
exactly
telling
like
him. We don't know if this is him speculating. We don't know what the police have.
Do we know where the room locations exactly, or not really?
Okay, this is another part where people
Yeah,
thought
just see,
that
do you see
Sarah's
his
side of
pinned
the family
message
was not
right here,
doing,
Jerry, the plug?
doing her any favors. They kept saying that the
He
house
was
has
here
an odd
not too long
layout.
ago.
I went on Zillow, and the house looks like all the bedrooms are kind of in one section. And even if it's not, it's a 2,000 square foot one
That's
level
funny
house.
as fuck.
Okay.
But even if it weren't a one level house, like a
I
single
just hit
level
7K
residence,
subs, guys.
2,000 square feet, you would
We did it.
probably hear gunshots.
We've managed
like I said.
to get to
Again, we're not talking
7K.
about a 50,000 square foot commercial building.
Yeah.
Even then, you probably could hear.
Yeah, the gunshot is weird. So the bedrooms are not in like opposite.
It doesn't appear so.
Part
I mean,
of the house.
there's no floor plan to the house, but James's family.
Yeah,
in the
it's
house,
terrible,
The
huh?
bedrooms are all in the same area. Like they're all in that same section.
They,
The only thing that's confusing
maybe
is
this is
now
the
some
new
netizens are
brand that
questioning
they
whether or
have
not
been.
the
Because you know how they'll, like,
five-year-old heard the
rebrand?
gunshots. Because if the murder weapon had not been found, it could
They'll,
have
like,
been a
rebrand
silencer
and
on
get,
it.
like, a new
But if
look.
the 5-year-old heard the
That's
gunshots,
what, like, Lost Mary
then
did
Sarah
and
should
shit.
have too. So that's where it's kind of tricky. I feel
I
like
think
the
Keith
5-year-old
Bars
heard
used
the
to be Lost
gunshots.
Marys.
That
I don't
doesn't
know
seem
for
like
sure.
something a 5-year-old could even grasp an understanding of like gun. It's very.
I mean, I don't. I mean, gunshots are loud, but is it possible that someone can sleep through that? Is what I'm trying to imagine.
Experts are saying either A, the
How
5-year-old
they been
did
letting us
not hear
smoke
gunshots
lead?
and maybe heard something else that
That's
startled
fucking
her
crazy.
awake, and there was a silencer on the gun. Or B, Sarah is lying because there's no way, unless she was drugged, unless she wasn't in the house,
Got it.
that she did not hear
I've
those
been,
gunshots.
even
So
just
the
recently,
experts
I
are
was
saying
hitting
you are
these
100% will
bitches.
be woken up
Yes.
if there's 5 shots in your house.
It's kind of like I guess you could really argue it to the grave like Jen McCabe does with a lot of her arguments. In the
I wonder if
Kennedy
that
case.
starts like a whole
Yeah,
new
you could be
addiction.
like, no, the forensic evidence doesn't
Like-
know what it's talking about, but
Like
ultimately it's
needing your geek.
like, most people are like, come on.
Got it.
There's no way,
Got it. Yep.
unless there was a silencer. So the
'Cause
dad
you
is
need a
saying,
certain
they
amount
don't
of
have a
lead a
weapon.
day
There
type
has
shit.
been no weapon found. I mean, they searched that property for days and days, and there was no weapon found. Again, we don't know if this is true. Some netizens feel sympathy for the dad. They say, I definitely understand why he's in denial. However, we need to learn to hold our children accountable. Or some people are commenting, I feel very sorry for the dad. I hope for his sake his daughter is innocent. Others are commenting, why would he let her be interrogated without an attorney? He just needs to keep quiet. He's making things worse for her. Some netizens just say, I guess I'm just going to wait to see the mountain of evidence. And so a lot of netizens have then taken to trying to figure out Sarah Patrick's motive. I do want to make a firm note here. It's a very sensitive part of the case that I was kind of struggling with the Rotten Mingo team of like, okay, do we talk about this? Because this is a big part of the conversation right now as it's developing, and I can foresee that it's probably only going to get bigger and probably bigger up until the trial or if she pleads guilty. Because we don't talk about it doesn't mean that it goes away. I do want to make a firm note, though, that when people search for a motive, that does not mean that they're in search for an excuse for the perpetrator, nor are they saying that any motive would justify any sort of crime, especially one as extreme as double homicide. I think the pursuit of understanding should not be mistaken for endorsement of actions. I think a lot of people sometimes confuse explanation as justification, and those two things are entirely different. Humans are sometimes wired in weird ways to want to make sense of things and actions that should not be confused again with making peace with said things. There is a quote that I get drawn to for cases like this, which is, the examined crime is not the excused crime, rather it's the one less likely to be repeated. So with that being said, do I think sometimes people like to cross that line? Yeah. I mean, I will say that in this case, that line gets crossed a few times. And I'll let you know when. But there are a lot of people trying to understand what the hell is happening. Like, if Sarah Patrick killed these two people, why? Why would she do that? It doesn't even make sense. And I think the biggest thing is Sarah Patrick was 17 years old. Even when her mom passes away, her stepfather is gone, she's kind of free. She's roaming about. There's not like one firm guardian. Even the police confirmed it. Like, she's been kind of... She's 17. She's free to go wherever. It doesn't seem like it's this, oh, you've got 10 more years in my custody and I'm going to say, no, you can't have a boyfriend. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like she could probably just leave and not live with them. So why go to this extreme length? Is it that, was there some sort of underlying mental health condition? Was there some sort of big vendetta against them? Is this just a teenager snapping? I think a lot of people are trying to make sense of it. A family member of James's said in an interview that she does not believe that Sarah is innocent. So it seems like Sarah's side of the family believes she is innocent, including Kristen's dad.
Sarah's grandpa.
Yes, the deceased father.
He believes that she's innocent as well. Wow.
Yes. Now, James Brock, they have no blood ties. This is his stepdaughter.
Yep.
They believe that Sarah is guilty. And a lot of people believe that Sarah is guilty. They say, first of all, how did she not hear the gunshots? It just doesn't make any sense. The family also states, I mean, Sarah's side of the family is going around town telling everybody that the house had a weird layout, but no, it didn't. That's not true at all. All of the bedrooms were close together. It's a rather small house. She says, quote, I'm not out here with a measuring tape, but if I were to guess, between the doorway to the parents' room and Sarah's room, maybe 8 feet. She also says that she's not going to name names, but I quote, I can say that multiple members of Sarah's family have come to us privately and said that Sarah was involved. That's a lot to me. That says a lot to me, because if you're going out on that kind of limb, and I will say that James's niece seems very honest.
You keep saying, oh my god, there's no way.
She just strikes me as someone that's not trying to just put all the blame on Sarah because it seems like the best way to grieve. It seems like she genuinely wants answers, and they've led her to this path. And it seems like she probably knows a lot more than the internet does. But she states, you know, every time I was around Sarah, she's very sweet. It's not like she's this crazy teenager that she's like, oh, she's so crazy, she's weird, she's losing it. She's very sweet. She was very open to talk to whoever was around. She struck me as a sweet girl. She did. But I didn't live in that home with her, and so James had said multiple times that you don't know the real Sarah. He didn't go into detail because, to be honest, when he would tell my mom that, she'd be like, oh, James, you never raised a teenage girl before, and you're not supposed to think anything more of that.
But he said multiple times, she's not the sweet Sarah that you guys see. She's not who she puts online. You don't know the real her.
And then the eulogy at the funeral was so strange. She adds, there were tears everywhere at that funeral. Everybody couldn't get through their speech. My mom needed a friend up there with her just to get through it. And I think it's weird that Sarah, after losing her mom, gets up there in her dress, did this big, long speech, and didn't ever shed a tear. Didn't ever stop to gather herself. I think it was very weird. At the funeral, it was just kind of like a big, wow. She says, I don't think at the time any of us had a solid theory. We didn't think it was possible that she acted alone, and I still don't believe that she did, because it just seems odd that she would be the one to pull the trigger.
Interesting. So they believe that there's another person.
Yes. And a lot of people believe that, and I think that is maybe why the police have been very vague. about everything regarding this investigation. So let's go into people's theories of the motive. Again, motive is an explanation to actions, not a justification to actions, especially in this situation where it seems like Sarah does have other family members. She's 17. It seems like she was able to walk out of this house if she wanted to. It does not seem to be a self-defense. Like, this is not that. So there's really no justifying, but these are the theories online. The first is, this is the main one, that she wanted to be TikTok famous. There were pictures of her previously before the crimes happened where she is lip syncing to songs and there is like an Oxygen true crime documentary playing in the back. People have taken this to say that she was someone that was obsessed with true crime and she wanted to become the grieving daughter and to gain attention, sympathy, love, and adoration through the internet through that way. She was using her dad's phone because her phone was confiscated. She was promoting her TikTok page on her dad's Facebook. She was posting on her dad's Facebook. And it's very interesting because I will say that James Brock's side of the family, when they were posting, it was very much like, spread the word, $5,000 reward, spread the word, spread the word. Sarah would say, yes, we need to talk about it, but a lot of it were trends, trending audios, TikTok sounds, crying, just a little bit more of that side versus like, can we please talk about it? Can we please raise awareness? Can we please talk about this case? So a lot of people have felt that is part of maybe her motive of trying to become TikTok famous. The fact that she's reaching out to TikTok content creators to ask them to cover her case is also another supplemental piece of evidence that people have for believing this motive.
As you can see, she reached out to me back in May.
She messaged me back on June 3rd and just said, search up Brock case.
She would also post things like, we need lots of shares because this case can't be forgotten about. But at the same time, I don't want to make too much noise on social media because I don't want to scare this person off. People thought that was just kind of a weird phrase. And so that's a big chunk of people. They think that she did this because she wanted to get TikTok famous. And maybe she just did not like her parents. So I don't think you could do that just to get TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah.
One netizen comments, I don't know, it's twisted, but I don't get the vibe that she was getting such satisfaction out of fooling people. I think she took comfort in getting all the emotional support that she might have lacked, maybe from everywhere else. Of course, she had to play it off online, but I mean, she did sure go out of her way to get attention, which is really fucked up. So I think even as people are commenting, they're kind of confused. They're like, at the same time, she didn't need to post so many trending audios nonstop to try and get views. But at the same time, I don't know if that's the motive. Like, that's what netizens are saying. Other netizens are saying, do you think that her posting on TikTok was her trying to confess to the crime? And this goes into the psychology where a lot of people say that killers sometimes want to get caught. A lot of people say that serial killers want to get caught because they want the notoriety and they want to be recognized for their crimes. Other people say that when it's killers that are not complete serial killers, where they do feel some guilt and remorse, they kind of do these subconscious things in an effort to get caught. It's like, people say it's like the lottery effect. When people win the lottery, they almost subconsciously, maybe, feel like they don't deserve the money or they didn't earn the money, so they'll blow through the money. It's kind of, I don't know, some people are saying that. They're saying it doesn't make sense that you would reach out to content creators to cover your case, to get more attention on your case, if you're getting away with it. They're saying it just doesn't make sense, and that's why people are saying, no, but it's not about getting away with it, it's about getting TikTok famous. So that's been a huge back and forth. I will say one quick reminder, though, is one netizen comment reads, she let her little sister find her parents' bodies.
That's
I don't think
crazy.
it really matters if she felt any remorse. If she did this, like, she let her little sister find her parents' bodies. That's crazy. Then comes the second theory, and this is where I think things get a little bit tricky. There are a lot of people that have resorted to, I would say a good chunk of people are internet sleuthing. They're going online, they're digging into old Facebook posts, they're going onto Instagram accounts and just trying to put some puzzle pieces together for their own understanding of this crime. And then there are people who are straight up victim blaming. She and James Brock officially start dating in 2018, or at least on Facebook. And people are commenting, a new man, good for you.
Damn, chat's dead. Damn, I forgot this fucking beep wasn't charging. And it was charging, just not charged. Fucking hell. Okay. I have to pee. Oh my god, now she's not here. Go to the Discord, Jerry. Tell her to come in. She's somewhere else right now. She's in the true crime channels at the moment. Or was, probably. Because I know some of the people we watch are live right now. Well, one of them, for sure. Still IUD, what? I have no idea what that is, Jerry. What the fuck is... Okay, I'm gonna go pee. Don't y'all leave, okay? I'm trying to lure Eric in here to at least do the pin, so. But I'll be right back. When I get back from using the bathroom, I might restart if he agrees to it, so. Because then I'll have his pin the whole stream. I'll be right back. Okay. Hey Jerry, I don't know if you're back, but all right, I'm gonna restart. I'll be right back. Come to the new one because I'm restarting right away. Bye.